Hey everyone, so welcome back, and today we're going to look at open position suspended second chords. So it's most of the notes that you can play this in. It's going to be E, A, D, G, C, and F. We're going to have open positions for all of the suspended second chords. Okay? I'll make another video on what comprises the chords eventually and which notes in the scale make up the different types of chords. And I'll do that in a way where I can write it out for you so it's more clear. Okay? I think it'll be a lot more clear than doing it on guitar. So let's get into the positions. Just try to remember these, memorize them as you did for all the other videos, all the other chords, and also practice them with all of the other exercises that I've shown you in the other videos. So finger picking and strumming patterns and alternate picking with the pick, and combine all of these, right? Practice together. So let's get to it. Let's start with E, E suspended second. So that's what it sounds like. It's going to be open 6th string. Then you're going to bring your first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Then your 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. And your pinky finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. The 2nd and 1st string remain open. And that's it. A beautiful chord. So it's okay. A lot of the things you might run into is that like your pinky will touch the 2nd string when you're playing this, right? It won't ring open. And if that happens, it's actually the same note as the pinky, so. Right? So the 2nd and 3rd string are the same exact note. So if that happens, it's not the biggest deal, but you want to make sure you get it as clean as possible so your hands remember it the right way. Okay? Remember that you can always change the fingerings of these chords if something suits you better. With this one, I don't see much of another option unless you're going to really extend and use your 2nd and 3rd finger. But for all of these positions, try to find the positioning that works best for you, is right for your hand. And also try to keep in mind where you're going to be switching from. Right? For example, in a D, the D chord that we'll get to, the suspended second, some people recommend playing with the 2nd and 3rd finger, but I play with the 1st and 3rd because I'm going to be putting the 2nd finger on this 2nd fret, sometimes for a full D chord, and pulling it off. Okay? So just keep things like that in mind. E suspended second. A suspended second. So this is going to be also a relatively easy chord to finger. I'm going to show the diagram with the 3rd finger on the above the 2nd finger, but you can also do it this way. The reason I do that again is because A minor is going to have the 1st finger here, and I play it with the 2nd finger on the 3rd string and 3rd finger on the 4th string, right? So I'm keeping that in mind that when I play an A minor, I might want to pull that off, right? So I'm keeping that fingering in mind. Just keep that in mind when you go to play the A suspended second. How are you going to play your A minor chord? Okay. Moving on. The 6th string is muted. Okay, so I just place my thumb at the top right there, like that. Touch it very lightly so it doesn't make a sound. Then the 5th string is open because it's an A note. The 4th string, you're going to put your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret. The 3rd string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret. Then the 1st string and 2nd string are open again. And that's it. D suspended second. So this is the chord we were just talking about earlier when I was telling you to watch the fingering so you could put the 2nd finger for the full D chord. Okay? So some people do recommend that. Some people say they play it with 2nd finger on the 3rd string, but I play it with the 1st. I'll show you that way. The diagram will be that way as well. But remember, do it the way that feels right for you. So you're not going to play the 6th string or the 5th string. They're both going to be muted, and it is possible to touch them both with your thumb if you flip your thumb over the top of the guitar like that, right? But you don't have to do that. You can just play from the D string down. If you're strumming it, then yes. Then I would definitely touch those two to mute them. So the 4th string is going to be open because it's a D note. The 3rd string, you're going to put your 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 2nd string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, and the E string is open. suspended second. So 6th string, 2nd finger, and again. So I use the 2nd finger because when I finger a whole G chord, I put my 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. So that way I can just pull this finger off if I want to. Okay? Again, think about that. Some people do say you can use the 1st finger like this, right? But it's up to you. So I put 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Then 5th string, 4th string, and 3rd string remain open, played. The 3rd finger and the 4th finger go on the 3rd fret of the 2nd and 1st string. 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 4th finger on the 1st string. That's it, G suspended second. C suspended second. So C suspended second is going to be the same thing as the full C chord, the C major chord that I'm sure we've gone over by now if you're looking at this video. So the only difference is that the E note is not in the suspended second. So you have to mute the top string and the bottom string, which is the same. They're both E's, right? Normally in the C chord, it's okay to leave one or the other open, or both, but it's not in this chord, so we have to mute those two. The way I do that is I touch my thumb to the top string, and then my bottom finger, since it's on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, I just bend it down and I mute it in the way that you try to avoid doing when you're trying not to make the strings buzz, right? So I intentionally bring my thumb finger down to touch it a little bit. And then those two are muted and it's fine. So this chord's going to be top string muted, 6th string muted, the 5th string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, the 4th string, 3rd string are both open. Then the 2nd string, 1st finger on the 1st fret. So it's like a C chord without the middle finger. So it's just those 4 strings, but if you mute both, you can play them out and it's okay. Okay, so last but not least, F suspended second. And I do this a little differently than the way I've seen it recommended to be played. A lot of people I've seen recommend just the bottom 4 strings, but the 1st string E, you're playing an F, so you can use your thumb on the top string, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to begin. This is optional, of course. You don't have to put the thumb on the 6th string. I press the 6th string down on the 1st fret with my thumb, so you can hear it. Then I let my thumb just hang over and touch the 5th string because the 5th string is not being played. So it's 6th string with the thumb on the 1st fret if you want to, but touching the 5th string. If you're not doing this, if you want to just mute the top 2 strings, which is absolutely fine as well, you just touch your thumb across both of them like this, okay? You can do that, or you can also touch it with the tip of your 3rd finger, which is going to be on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, see? Either way, you can mute it. This is stuff you'll learn, you'll figure out yourself, figure out the best way that works for you with muting these strings. I usually play the 1st fret of the 6th string and mute the 5th string, okay? Then following from there, we go 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. The 3rd string is played open. Then the 1st and 2nd string, the 1st fret, I just bar my 1st finger across. It plays both strings on the 1st fret. Okay? So you skip this 3rd string, that stays open, and then fingers on the 4th string, 3rd fret. And that's it. You can mute this 5th string again with the 3rd finger or the thumb. You can press down the bass note in the 1st fret of the 6th string if you like. You don't have to. Okay? And it sounds like this. Without the bass note. So you just get that bass note and that's all. It sounds deeper. And that's all. Okay? So that's every suspended second in the open position. And B is a bar position. Obviously, that's usually the case for the B chords, except for 1 or 2. So thanks for joining me. Remember, have fun practicing. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'm happy to make a more specific video if you need clarification on anything. Okay? So until then, have fun guys, and take care.